Hi everyone, so I'm making this video to help anybody that might be in the same situation that I'm in and I've been in for 18 years. And that is the abuse of a narcissistic mother-in-law or the mother of the person that you're dating. It could be mother or father-in-law, they all act the same. It's a personality disorder and it's a mental disorder. You have no empathy. So they don't care about you or your family or anything. All they care about is getting their narcissistic supply from you, which is torturing you in the worst ways and making you second guess yourself, your consciousness, a million other things. You can go on YouTube and there's all kinds of videos. So let me tell you about my story. And if anyone can relate, please comment. If you need to talk to me on the phone or over email, I can shoot you over my email or phone number. So when I was 15 years old, I was a very prude young woman. I was the middle child of two boys, and I grew up in an all-male household. So dating was out of the question, and any male friends that I had were always scared away by my brothers or my dad. So finally, here comes, I don't know if you want to call it my Prince Charming or what, but I met him. He was 16, I was 15. We went to the same high school, and he used to give me rides to school. Well, after a short period of time, I ended up falling in love with him, but I didn't know how to tell him. And I know that he felt the same because when we were in the room together, the air would just suck out of the room. I mean, we couldn't even breathe. We were so infatuated with each other. And it continued like that for many years, and we still really, really love each other through these 18 years. So the reason why, well, let me rewind. We've only been married for 6 years. We have a almost 5-year-old son, and the reason why we've been together 18 years and only married for 6 is because we could never get his parents' approval. So we waited 13 years for their approval for marriage, their son with me. And they wouldn't approve. I have something on my shirt, which is really bugging me. Sorry, like I said, I have a kid. So we went up to the Justice of Peace and just, hold on, my dog has his little toy. We went up to the Justice of Peace. Quit, Henry. And we simply just signed some pieces of paper, got married with a judge, and voila, we were married. So out of respect, he told his parents, hey, Natalie and I got married, and I'm just letting you know. So next thing you know, his mother's calling everybody in the family and crying about how her life is over. He's married me. I mean, just saying horrendous things about me. And this is like the second day that we've been married. So at this time, we hadn't really been speaking to him, and I haven't spoke to him in years before we had got married because of just the mistreatment and her constant gaslighting of me and discarding of me constantly over every single thing that she could come up with. It could have been that I stepped on an ant and killed the ant, and she would have blew it out of proportion, made it about herself, and that's the end of me. And she's discarded me like that so many times I've lost count. I've cried so many times over this woman thinking that there was something wrong with me, that I was rude, that I was ugly, that I was at fault. That's not true now. I see that. She definitely scarred me. She definitely gave me PTSD with this treatment of narcissistic abuse for 18 years. So pretty much it started back whenever we were 15. It went from one thing to our prom. His dad wouldn't even come out of the other room to see us off to prom. his mom was taking pictures of us in prom and was taking pictures where my head was either cut off right here or cut off right here. So you could see everybody else in the prom picture but me because my head was cut off. And she did this to almost every single picture that she has of me. And anytime throughout these 18 years that we've been together, if we ever have to take a photo of the family, a photo with them, a photo with now their grandchild, she would find some way to exclude me out of that photo after taking maybe the initial photo, but then would come back and be like, can you take a picture of just my family? Of just your family, huh? Looking back now, and I already knew this then, she was planning to get rid of me then. Because she was taking pictures with my son, my husband, all the other immediate family without me in it. Constantly, she would do this. She had been planning to discard me long ago, way before I even got married. And even now, since we've gotten married, she still does that same photo thing where, oh, Natalie, do you mind stepping out of the picture and taking a picture of just me and my family? Like, me, because I'm the nice person I am, and I know I'm kind of being dramatic now because I'm so frustrated after 18 years, me being the nice person I am, as bad as my heart would drop every time she did that, and it would just disgust me and ruin the whole entire whatever activity we were doing with her, I would calmly grab her phone and I would calmly take that picture that she wanted. Because in the back of my mind, I already knew why she was doing that. That way she could get rid of the pictures of me in it from that moment in time and replace them with the pictures without me in them. I'm not dumb. I know this. So that happened for many years. And then one time, me and my friend, this actually happened a year ago. We got drunk, and which is really not that, we didn't do that a lot. Matter of fact, I had just moved to Houston and we were together and drank a little bit. And she left. I got on Facebook, which I shouldn't have done, while I was drunk. And somehow, before I passed out drunk, I pressed live on Facebook. So for like, I don't know, an hour or something, it's me sleeping or whatever and messed up on Facebook. Well, even though that was totally embarrassing for me, I cried over it for weeks because I embarrassed myself so bad. It was a mistake that I made. My mother-in-law, took it upon herself to be offended. She didn't come to me and say, oh my God, Natalie, I am so sorry that, you accidentally pushed live on Facebook, that you made yourself look like an ass, that you misrepresented yourself. I am so sorry that you're crying for 2 and 3 weeks at a time over this situation. No, she didn't. Instead, she turned it around and said she disowned me. I'm not allowed to Christmas anymore. I'm not allowed on vacations with her anymore. Blah, 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 blah. The same damn thing she does to me every single time she disregards me. And even though that situation had nothing to do with her, she still made it about herself because she finds every single fault that I make and makes it about herself so she can discard me. Everything. Every single time. Anything is what I meant. Any single thing. It doesn't matter what it is. She is ready for that discard. She's a pro at the discard. So, just throughout all this time, just nasty. So now the reason why I'm making this video now is because I'm at another discard with her. But this time I'm flipping it around and I'm discarding her. After 18 years of just chronic abuse from her, of disrespect. I'm sorry, my dog's ball is squeaking. And just chronically disrespected me, gaslighting me, saying things like I'm on drugs and all this stuff to people. And granted, she has known me since I was 15 years old. Yes, she has. Did I do drugs? Yes, I did. Okay. But I am a mother of a almost 5-year-old. This last discard, and it just happened a month ago. She's going around telling all the family members that me and my husband are on drugs and that she's going to take my husband to court for my son. A bunch of baloney. Nobody in my house is on drugs. We might drink alcohol. But other than that, like, I don't know where she's getting the drug thing from. I do. The reason why she's doing that is because she's still treating myself and her son like children. I'm fucking tired of it. Children, children, children. That's all you'll ever be to me. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you want to do in your marriage. I roll your marriage. I roll your life. And if you don't do what I say and you make any interruption in my life, I'll discard you. That's her weapon of choice, is discarding. So this last time, me and my husband, probably after 18 years, we've gotten in five major fights in 18 years. So my husband, and he knew this was a mistake, and I don't know why he did this. He should have found a therapist. But he went to his mother and his father and told them that, we both have been fighting and that we're both tired of fighting and that, he thinks we need to do something about our marriage. So his dad suggested marriage counseling. Jared wants to do marriage counseling. I want to do marriage counseling. But what do you think his good old mother said? What do you think she said? Even with a little 5-year-old boy involved. She will pay for his divorce. She will make sure they get Bryce, my son. And to cut my credit card off. To limit my credit card and to cut my debit card off. When I work, the money in that bank account in savings is my money. Because, see, my husband's been lying and acting like the money in saving is his money, but it's not, right? Because we just been playing along with their role because his mom didn't want me to work, but yet at the same time treats me like I'm a gold digger. So I'm secretly working, and and so because my husband was struggling, I'm trying to help my family, And anyway, pretty much what it comes down to is the moment my husband went and asked for any guidance in our marriage to his parents, his mother was waiting on that moment. Boy, I know that she already had that lawyer picked out. So when, after all that was said and done with his parents, me and my husband start talking, and we're like, well, is this really the best thing, is to divorce or to separate? We still love each other. Yes, we had a disagreement. But we have almost a 5-year-old child together. And what kind of life would that child have? And what kind of life we would have without each other? I mean, we've been together since we were 15 years old, so I don't even know how we would live apart. I mean, he's my soulmate. I love him. He's been with me more than half my life. I'm 33 years old. I've been with him for 18 years. My family loves him. They root for us, even with all these problems that have been going on. My mom is always there with helpful service and service for us in our relationship, and there as a friend. And somebody that's been married and divorced and who can shed some light on that. And so she's always rooting there for us and always has my husband's back when my husband's parents don't have that. Mind you, they've never met my family in 18 years. Let me repeat that. My husband's mother and father has never, ever, ever met my side of the family. My mother, my brothers, or my father before he died. Never in 18 years. That's all I really have. You know, this is 15 minutes already. Maybe I should just said that from the beginning. That's the type of person or people I'm dealing with. And now his mother has his brother going against brother and making up these lies and telling him we're on drugs and all this stuff, which isn't true, just to make herself look good, because now she spun this, my husband going to her for help, into it being about her now. See, it went from my husband having a problem in our marriage to now he didn't do what his mother said, which was divorce me. Yes. Divorce me. So now she has taken it as an insult and caused another injury on top of the initial injury of my husband needing help through his parents, some guidance, some counseling for his marriage. And his mother's whispering in his ear, divorce. His father's telling him to go to marriage counseling. And now because the father and mother aren't agreeing, the mother went to the brother and has the brother on the mother's side. And now the brother is talking trash to me too. And you ask, why have I been here for 18 years? Because I love him. And this video here should just prove that love can make you do some crazy things, because I don't know a whole lot of females that would have stayed around in my position. Crying year after year, putting up with harassment, gaslighting, disregarding me, discarding me, embarrassing me, poor treatment in public towards me. Matter of fact, that just happened. She came to visit right before... I'm doing no contact with them. Right before her discard of me again, we were at a pizza place with some family members, and we're at a restaurant. We're just all talking. I don't even eat pizza, by the way, because I'm on a ketogenic diet, so I don't eat bread. So everybody is at the dinner table talking about the different pizzas, and I'm here in New York. I just moved here not even a year ago, so I'm from Texas, so I don't know a lot about pizza. I know Domino's, right? Or Papa John's. So I'm just sitting there asking the cousins, hey, you know, what's this on that pizza? I've never heard of these pizzas before, and what does this taste like? I kid you not. And now she's our guest. My mother-in-law and father-in-law are our guests visiting us. We go visit a cousin. We're talking about pizza at the dinner table, and this is what she does. She looks down and she goes, you know, Natalie, we're their guests. So why don't you just go ahead and let them order? Yes, she did. Talk to me like a 4-year-old child who was interrupting an adult conversation. My heart dropped. I was seconds away of busting out crying at that table, because I just let that woman back in my life after the whole Facebook episode and let her accept me back in. And we're getting back on a good track, and she comes to New York and treats me like that. And then not even a month later, my husband cries to her for marriage help, and she's telling him to divorce me and that she's going to take Bryce. And now that let me back up. Now that my husband won't divorce me and do what she wants and all this, now she's discarding him, and she told him that he is as much as the problem as I am because he won't leave me. And she told him that if she has to, she will take him to court and take our child for no reason. Even if she went to court and tried to do that bullshit, she has no fucking proof. She has no proof we are bad parents at all. I dedicate myself every day to my child. And matter of fact, I also take care of a handicapped dog that is 7.5 years old. And so that should tell you right now that if I can keep a disabled dog who was born like that alive for 7.5 years, run his Facebook page, run a charity page for his wheelchairs and all that when people need them, and do all this nice shit for people that I don't even know around the world. That should tell you and show you that I'm a good person, a good fucking mom. Yes, it is a dog, but I'm a fur mom too. So, and you can check him out at Henry Pavliscak or Handicap Henry, which will go to Henry Pavliscak on Facebook. We do a lot of dog charity things on there, and if you know someone that needs a prosthetic for a dog or a wheelchair for dogs, please get a hold of me. Or you can even comment down here on the YouTube video and I'll get a hold of you. But anyway, this is my story. I don't know if it can really help anybody, but right now I'm in the midst of taking my child to therapy, and me and my husband going to therapy, because now my child has been acting out because of the discard his mother did again, and me doing no contact with them, or maybe even gray rocking them because of my child. But I just don't even feel like my child should be part of her life if she has treated me like this for 18 years, to be honest. Why should I allow her to have the most precious thing, the thing that I take care of 24 hours a day, that I've raised to be a good young man? Why should I allow her to have that privilege of spending any time with him? He is a reflection of me. And if she doesn't like me, then she's going to treat him like shit. So, and also, she sent him like gifts ever since I did no contact. She's been sending him gifts, and I've been sending him right back to her house. And I said, I'm not playing your games anymore, Sarah. Please, no presents. I'm upset because, dude, this is my marriage. This is my child. You're rooting for our divorce. You want me and my husband to divorce, and my son live in a broken home. I'm speechless. What mother wishes that? And a Catholic mom at that. Someone who's so godly. Someone who is a choir and an opera singer. And look at me. Yeah. That's her. Oh, and by the way, I'm dyslexic. I've overcome a lot of my challenges. Oh, but his mom, who has an English degree, she's quick to point out any correction, any punctuation, any words that I said wrong. I even have some form of, it's like a dyslexic tongue where there's things I just cannot pronounce. She'll correct me on that too. She knows it hurts me. She does it on purpose to make me look ignorant. But in reality, my intelligence level is way beyond hers. And this other thing that my husband used to do that really pissed me off, that I'm thinking about it, is anytime that I needed to talk to his mom like a real person, or treat her like just like a human being, like, hey man, you hurt my feelings, like that wasn't right for you to gaslight me, or hey man, why are you discarding me over like a piece of cake I ate out of the refrigerator, now you don't want to see me again? Like, that's how, I mean, that didn't happen, but that's how silly these situations are. Maybe not the one that we're in right now, but now that she's taken what the problem between me and my marriage and made it about herself now, I'm just done with it. Like, you're affecting my son. And let me go back to that. So yes, my son is going to therapy now. That's right. I talked to his school because I've noticed things at home that I thought maybe he was learning at school. I went to his school 2 days ago. Come to find out, his teachers have been seeing the same thing, and that is disruptive behavior because he wants you to yell at him for that attention now. Because there's been so much upset at my house over my mother-in-law treating me like a piece of shit, and my husband crying. My husband is crying in bed and depressed because of this bullshit. Because he went to his parents for help, and his mom turned her back on him and told him to divorce me with a 5-year-old son. I've been with this man for 18 years. We've had five major fights. They know of 2 of them. My family knows about all 5. My side knows about all 5. They know about 2. And both times, they told him to divorce me. And let me go back 2.5 summers ago. I got sexually assaulted by the maintenance man, and I was seeing a psychologist, and I was dealing with some PTSD, probably from her ass and from my childhood, but also from other things. So while I was dealing with that, they put me on some medication that made me very zombie-like. It was the wrong medication. And when I was acting like that, instead of his side of the family, because we're living about 20 minutes from his mom and dad's house, instead of her coming and helping me get over this horrendous situation of being sexually assaulted, she told Jared that if he thought it was necessary that to walk away from me at this time because I was going through so much, that she would help him divorce me after I was sexually assaulted. And I think this happened like a month after, so I definitely was not right in the head. And I have been taking care of a baby for 2.5 years of that baby's life for the first 2.5 years because my husband traveled for work and we only saw him 6 to 8 days a month. And so I was already exhausted from being a new mother and not having any help, like sleep-wise. And I was very hyper-focused on just like waking up when my baby needed to be nursed, feeding my child, doing anything that could help my kid, helping my handicapped dog, doing like, I don't want to cry because she's not worth it. I've cried so much. And I just think after 18 years of this abuse, I don't deserve it anymore. And so I'm telling anybody that's going through this situation, now if that is your soulmate and you really love that person, that you're willing to go through trauma and abuse by a narcissistic parent or a family member, and they're constantly in your marriage and they're trying to destroy it all the time. Even though sometimes she does come over and she's happy and she acts like everything's all good, really all she's doing is waiting in the grass, ready to strike. And that's exactly what happened whenever my husband went to his own mother for advice on marriage. So now her husband has to not see his grandchild because the way she's acting, and it's not fair to him because I actually really like my father-in-law. I feel like in the past few years we've really gotten closer. He talks to me now while he's looking at me. Before, for years and years and years, he would never even look at me in the face he would look at me in the face, but he wouldn't look at me in the eyes when he was talking to me. And that's corrected. He's been talking to me with respect, and when he hugs me, I can actually feel like he's actually loves me. And it took a long time to get to that point. And to be honest, my life was so much better when they weren't in it. They discarded my husband right before we moved in together. We've lived on and off together, of course, in 18 years, but when the 2008 financial crisis happened, he couldn't get a job, even with a college education, and finally his dad was able to get him a job, but it was in Ohio, and so he went to Ohio, but when he got there, his parents said, okay, we're only giving you this job if you literally eliminate Natalie and never see her again. So he had to go on the phone with me in front of his parents and say he's breaking up with me and all this, and it was a big ordeal. And then when he got away from his parents, he called me secretly and was like, I don't mean that. My parents made me do that. My car was packed. I was about to drive up to Ohio from Texas to meet up with him and start our life again after this horrible financial crisis that left us in debt for 3 years and on welfare and unemployment for 3 years. So I secretly drove up there, and his parents were out of town, and so we stayed the night, like one night there, and then we lived in a hotel for about 3 or 4 months until we both had jobs and we're both saving money to get our own place. And well, during that time, obviously they found out that he moved out of the apartment with his parents because his dad was working there too in Ohio from Texas. They discarded him. They're like, okay, you won't leave Natalie alone. This is it. You're not in our life anymore. So they were out of our life for at least three and a half years. And then we got married after 13 years of being together because, of course, they've already discarded him. They weren't going to accept me. And obviously, it wasn't going to come to the point where they're like, hooray, let's have a great big old wedding for Natalie and Jared. No. So we got married, and about 6 months after that, we planned our pregnancy, and I got pregnant the very first time I tried. And by the way, I looked on YouTube and found out how to get pregnant the first time. Thank God for YouTube. And so when we got pregnant, we waited 3 months to make sure the child was going to take. The child took, and we called his parents and told them. Well, magically, his mother wanted to be back in our life, and things were going to be changed. And so, granted, I was willing to do that because I didn't grow up with grandparents, and I wanted my son to have grandparents. Because I'm that type of person that no matter how bad you F me over, I will still take your ass back. And give you second, third, fourth, 10th tries. Because I always look at the better side of that person. I don't just look at the negative stuff because there are really tend to be more good stuff than bad stuff. But now it's been vice versa. But so when I had my baby and his parents came in from Texas to Ohio, that was the first time I had seen his parents in 3.5 years. First time. And ever since then, once a year, almost every single year, they discard me since then. They have caused drama in my life. They constantly keep me down. They're constantly talking trash about me. She's constantly embarrassing me in front of people. I don't know if I'm deaf or what, partially deaf in one ear or what, but I had this eardrum busted like 3 times in my life. And so it kind of seems like it's underwater or like I can't hear that good. And so I had to teach myself not to talk so loud. But at one time I was speaking very loudly like this, and also I think some of the times I was speaking loudly like that in front of her is to grab her attention because I could never get it. But while I was talking like that, knowing I was having hearing problems and continue to have hearing problems, she would tell me to be quiet in restaurants, talking to her, telling me I'm too loud. And it's kind of like, well, if you have a grandmother who talked like that because they couldn't hear, would you tell them to be quiet? Would you tell them you're talking too loud? No, because you love that person. There's something wrong with their hearing. They're speaking loudly because they can't hear themselves. And so you're not going to add insult to injury already that they can't hear and insult them verbally for talking too loud. She did that for so many years. Year after year, year after year. And then on top of that, I am a picky eater. I don't eat fish. I don't eat lamb. I hardly ever eat pig. Well, his family eats a lot of that. They're European. And they know I don't eat that. And they've always had a problem with my palate that, we have to cook something special for Natalie. She doesn't eat this. And just little insulting things. Matter of fact, whenever I had to have neck surgery, they came and helped me with my child. They rearranged my whole living room without even asking me. I was upstairs in a neck brace right after surgery. And I came down one day to have breakfast or something. And my mother-in-law rearranged my whole entire living room. Granted, yes, it did give it more room, but she didn't ask me permission to do so. Sorry. So these are the things I'm always encouraging, if it's not her way, it's not the right way. If 18 years, guys, I'm still here with my husband. I still love him. But I'm really saddened by this whole thing that's going on now because now there is a child involved. And she doesn't even see the effect that it's having on her grandchild because she's so wrapped up in her own agenda, her own selfish needs and wants, and not thinking about the child and rooting for her son's divorce, which that would completely destroy my son. My husband would never see his son. The way he works, I don't know how he would even get a new girlfriend if he has to choose between seeing his son or his girlfriend on the weekends, because he'd have to fly to Texas to see him. I don't know how that would work. And then financially, it's taken us 18 years to get where we are financially, and we're finally comfortable. Dude, if we got divorced, all this hard work, I'm sorry, I'm kind of hot because I'm in this sweater, but all that hard work we've been through, we would both be broke. Dude, he would have to give me spousal support and child support. How? And then just say if I needed daycare so I could go to work too. He would have to pay for that too, if not half of it. I don't know how anybody could survive divorce unless they make at least $200,000 or $300,000 a year. We're not at that marker, but I guarantee you when we get at that marker, I'm running the hell away from the United States, away from his parents. Yes, I still can smile and laugh about it because I know there's other people out there like me who has suffered in silence. And another thing my husband used to say is, tiptoe around my mom. No, don't say this to my mom. She's special. She would not understand. You don't talk to that like that to my mom. And another thing would be like, when I first met my husband, he always spoke in a real soft tone and monotone voice. And to get these jobs is a high-powered job. He's in management. And I used to have to coach him. Like, me and him would sit there and have conversations because his mom had beat him down for so many years, being narcissistic and like, don't talk to me unless you're spoken to. Don't talk back to me. Don't raise your voice at me. Don't talk to me in this way. So he didn't know how to speak to someone in a managerial situation. So we used to actually I used to coach him on, because I'm a very dominant person, that where I'm like, okay, if this situation happens, you have to have a strong voice, babe. And it took years and years and years. And now he's got it, man. My husband's doing great at work. He's bossing those people around. He's getting his job done. But that's all because I had to build his self-esteem up to the point where he actually thought people would listen to him. Because he was always taught, no, you listen to me, right? By his mom and his dad. Well, now his job is to tell people, you listen to me, and he was not prepared. And so it's really ironic how his role of being a son and submissive son to a dominant manager, it's really astonishing, and I'm really proud of him and all the accomplishments that he's made in his vocabulary and his strength of speaking and his empowerment of being a powered person. And it's really made an improvement in his life. But that all stems back that he never had that because he had someone overbearing and overpowering him for all of his life. And that's probably one of the main reasons why he has a brother my age. His brother's never had really a very serious girlfriend. And the few that he had, like the few kind of long-term girlfriends, like after a year, they're always gone. And at first, me and my husband thought, well, maybe it's because he sees how his mom treats me and he's scared that his girlfriend will be treated like that. But now, actually, we see that his mom has been overbearing his brother and been coercing him into being single and not having girlfriends and, still having control over that 33-year-old man's life. And really, that was all brought to light when his brother started siding with his mom over this little incident that we have where, fighting with her about our marriage or whatever. And now his brother's in on it, saying this and that, like, you're disrespecting our parents by not listening to them. We're tired of it. And really what it comes down to is that Jared won't leave me And that they're saying that's disrespectful, that you're not listening to your parents and doing what your parents says, and that is leave your wife. And so now we kind of see that actually, now that I've been looking up narcissistic personality disorders and all this, I actually see that actually the mother is the one that is preventing my brother-in-law to having that successful, fulfilling relationship with somebody and having a marriage with children. I don't think that will ever happen with my brother-in-law. He's too far gone in her controlling. He's definitely possessed by her. Anyways, I'm sorry. This is 40 minutes, and this is my freaking life story, and really it hasn't even touched the surface. But maybe I'll make more videos. I'm sorry it's so long, guys. But if you need any help, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you on the phone to help you through any crisis.